We did it!
Yay! Welcome back, Reject Nation. We got another great episode for you today as we are back to our regular scheduled programming. Starting off, we will go down the halls of the Eloise Asylum.
No, you got it.
Oh, it's an actual asylum?
Eloise, it's Eloise Psychiatric Hospital Asylum. It's a lot. We'll get there.
Oh, I didn't put a note in here because you yell at me when I call things an asylum when they're not.
Oh,
And,
no, they definitely had one of those.
Oh, because when I did this intro and I looked at yours, I read maybe 2 sentences into it. So
Fair.
Afterwards, we travel to the Zulu nation in Africa as we see that small people can really be deadly as we go back into the cryptid corner. Finally, as we are now done with the craziness of weddings, the newly minted Kodack will dive into the mental disorder known as Narcissistic Personality Disorder. I practice saying that. As always, we will dive into some It is. We will dive into our pre-topic banter with this starting with the Kodack wedding. We did it.
We did it.
Cue Dora song.
Congratulations for the millionth time.
Yeah.
Boots, what was your favorite part? Wow, no one wants to do Boots.
Well, I'm starting tomorrow morning off by calling the courthouse to make sure they received our paperwork so I can set an appointment with the Social Security office to change my name officially.
What would you do I changed my name to?
Get it out of the way quick.
I'm trying to get everything done and out of the way because the longer you sit on it, the less likely you're not to do
Or
it.
you'll forget.
Wouldn't that be the less likely you are to do it? You said less likely not to do it.
First of all,
That's
sir,
a double negative.
You're a double negative.
No, that's
It's
on
hereditary.
Mondays.
I'll double your negative.
I don't get how you can be double negative from a movie. There's a movie called Hereditary. Yeah, that's my nose.
Pick your booger.
Pick your ear hole.
What the fuck? But yes, we're married and it was so amazing. What was your favorite part? Like the highlight that you remember the most?
Do you want the sweet answer or the real answer?
Both.
When you said I do.
Aww.
Seeing Jedis fight.
Seeing Jedis fight. Well, at least I know my surprise was worthwhile. What about you, Sir Billiam? What was your favorite part of the wedding?
I mean, loved the whole ceremony. Loved all of that. I cried like a bitch.
Oh yeah, the groomsmen definitely had more tears than the bridesmaids.
We're an emotional bunch.
I looked over, you and Joey were pissing tears.
Oh yeah. But my most memorable part of it is as soon as the ceremony was over, me and CJ both obviously panicking, like, all right, drinks. And I'm walking around with 2 rum and cokes in like 5 minutes.
Like those birds from Finding Nemo. Drink.
I have a lot of favorite parts. So things that.
Oh, that's not fair. You can't be like, what's your one favorite, and then be like, I have all these favorites.
I have a lot of highlights. I do have favorite. I do have a favorite. But my top highlights is the fact that you came out in the middle of our ceremony and threw in shots. And we did a shot in the middle of our freaking wedding ceremony.
It was last minute.
That was a last minute decision.
That
Billy was there for it.
It was a boss move. All right. I was not prepared for that. I was like, well, there goes my shit. I haven't even said my balance yet.
He told me a snippet of what it was, and I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I lost. And it's not that I'm saying I lost, but me and Kodack are stupid competitive for when it comes to gifts, holidays, we're always trying to one-up each other, but not in a competitive, but competitive. We're always trying to do better.
Playfully competitive.
Yes, playfully competitive. We're always trying to do better for each other.
I definitely never become a sore loser and curse.
Oh yes, he does. However,
no, my boy would never do that.
But the Anthony coming out in a lobster costume
I mean, that's the only way to come out.
The garter removal was just
They do say it's better down where it's
Under the
wet.
sea, mind you.
under the sea. Like, he just,
Yeah, I'm still mad about it.
you killed it. But I have to say, our son never left that dance floor.
Oh no, he lived for that dance floor.
Nah, he brought the party.
He was the party.
Everybody told me. Everybody came up to me. This is one of the best weddings I ever been to. The drinks are good. The food was amazing. And your kids are just fantastic. And Cole is the whole entire show.
Yeah, those 4 bites I had of food was really great.
Yeah, the 4 bites. Listen, I ate a lot of bacon wrapped scallops, and that's what kept me afloat.
And the off chance one of the bartenders who was very heavy-handed, shout out to you.
Yeah, I saw her pour one of those drinks, and it was half capped, and I was like, woohoo!
Yeah, that there was that one. We went up there to grab a drink, and we're like, "Hey, you guys don't do shots, do you?" They're like, "No." She goes, "But what I can do is fill an ice up, get a cup of ice, and then put a splash of water in there and call it a mixed drink." We're like,
You forgot part of about the liquor.
well,
You said
yeah.
a glass of ice and add some water.
Well, the liquor part too. He got the
I
captain,
guess
and I
there was
got
food in there.
yeah. Where I fucked up was after the cha-cha slide because I put the tequila, which is very clear, next to my glass of ice water.
Which is also very
And
clear.
I was yes, that was also very clear. I was very thirsty after doing the cha-cha slide, and I chugged a whole glass of
I
tequila.
did triple fist at one point.
Yeah, that is the Kodack way.
Yeah.
This is the way. But it was a fantastic one.
It was a good time.
It was.
I had a good time, and I hate social encounters.
That's it was good.
He even got in the photo booth.
Wow.
I got in the photo booth. I danced a little.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look at us taking Billy out of his shell. Our
Oh yeah,
favorite.
I'm going way back in for a little bit.
He must
No
hibernate.
more social gatherings for like 3 months at least.
You know what it was? He was wearing that suit. He knew he was wearing that suit, and he was feeling
For some of
himself.
it.
Yeah, until he changed into
Yeah,
the
I
teen.
totally slow dance in shorts.
Yep, he changes. But we're in the photo booth, and he had this giant thing of beer, and he was just having a good old time. I wasn't expecting him to do it, and it was fun.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I do come out of my shit very seldomly.
Yeah, it was a good time, but it's over and things are more relaxed.
Now I'm gonna get fat.
We did talk briefly about doing a 10-year vow renewal, and that one's going to be more.
We're going to Sweden.
We're gonna do a Viking style wedding. It's just
Bro,
gonna
if I gotta get a passport, fucking tell me now. Well, that's in 10 years.
Yeah, you got 10 years, so I'm
Yeah,
sure
you
you'll
get
get like a
10
day before.
yeah.
Hopefully I'll have my shit together by then.
Drinking from horns and eating feast like men. But yeah, but that would be for a 10-year anniversary of sorts.
Yeah.
Speaking of
anniversaries,
I just had
9/11.
my yeah, 9/11. Never
Oh yeah,
forget.
your anniversary too.
And yeah, 4-year wedding anniversary and Tupac's death day. Just
I was gonna say happy Tupac Day.
R.I.P.
Yeah, 4
yeah, I listened
years.
to so much Tupac today and yesterday.
Speaking of anniversaries, it's also our anniversary for the Full
Kind
Sun
of.
Region.
No, it's not.
Kind of. In the making of.
Did you both think I was talking about the Full Send Rejects the entire time?
Yeah.
No, we knew you were talking. I knew you were
Billy?
talking about your field.
Who's
Billy?
this we you're fucking talking about?
Billy, I have a message from you where you're like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah, no,
No,
I
but-
totally thought it was like a 1-year
Yeah.
full send reject.
If you go look at some Billy's post on the page and some of the scenes he was posting, he's like, yeah, year of us. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No, this is
Hey, I was there
year
for the first part too.
anniversary.
Yeah, this was when the last podcast failed horribly.
Yes.
and some alterations
Yeah,
were made.
football analysts who didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
It's our brainstorming anniversary.
Felt like Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. A lot of
Good
anniversaries.
times. A lot of anniversaries. It's a good time.
Rest in peace, Tupac.
Rest in peace, Tupac. So we got weddings, anniversaries, podcasts, and
Speaking of football,
yeah, I'm so glad the NFL is kicking off this week. Nothing happened last week. You know.
yeah, we're blocking that fantasy football nightmare out of our memory.
I went 0-4 last week, and that is including a league where I have Jalen Hurts, Cooper Kupp, and Travis Kelce.
I did good on one of them.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
I
my
did
wife
terrible.
won. Yes, we did.
Yeah, she beat me, asshole. She's no longer a sponsor.
Sure did.
I'm actually playing against her this week.
Yeah, I'm sure Jalen Hurts is going to do me. Why do I run so many teams? I can never root for somebody or not root for somebody.
The only other thing I could do is like a regular fantasy. That's it.
I don't think I can go back to like a regular fantasy. I'm in too deep for the sleeper leagues we're in.
No, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm in too deep.
I can never go back to just a regular like one season at a time.
No, I mean I love the one season.
Nothing gets me going like making a fantasy football trade in fucking March. I'm bored.
His phone bzz, 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 all the time. I'm like, your phone's going off. He's like, yeah, someone's either doing a big play or someone made a fantasy move.
We drive in the car, both our phones go off. Who fucking did something? Who did something? Tell me right now.
When both of our phones go off at the same time, he's like, who did it? What's going on?
Someone did a thing. I need to know.
That's how I am with Liz when my phone like dies. And I see her go off and it's sleeper. I'm like, what the fuck? Who did something?
Someone made a play. Tell me now.
Couples that fantasy together stay together.
Thank God I had Penn State.
Fuck 'em horns.
Hey, yeah. Texas is back. Finally.
Goddamn right they are.
Hopefully by the next time you guys spend the night, our porch is all set up with our new
porch swing and the
porch swing rockers and bench
and the tobacco thingy came.
Yeah, and your guys' is
the ashtray.
Yeah, the zombie pirate ashtray came. No, skeleton pirate.
Oh, I'm listening to so much Ailstorm having a panic attack on your porch.
For people who are non-smokers, not that we support your habits.
Fucking send it.
If you're going to smoke, at least do it out of a zombie pirate ashtray.
Oh, this guy's an idiot. His name's Cleveland. He's playing for Minnesota. Come on now.
He played for Baltimore too and Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, he did.
Anthony.
What?
I won't let this distract me when it's on the TV. Also, Anthony. Oh, look at this bullshit in the middle of recording.
You were just talking about smoking, okay? I'm paying attention, okay? I'm just indicating that some fucking idiot here is in Cleveland playing in Minnesota.
We're getting back on track to football.
I'm pretty sure he has sisters and brothers
Yeah,
too.
we were just talking about football too, so it's relevant.
So
yeah.
I will not take this bullying, okay?
Why, does it hurts too much?
Oh,
I had no choice. Yep.
Your choice was to marry me.
Yes, it was.
My sorry. I was
there for that.
How's it what?
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, you were. I'm really proud of everything that he did. You know, when I go to like drive-throughs now, it's like I take my hand out and I just like want to shine this big.
Give me the attention and compliment my new ring.
Yeah, this big rock. I'm just like, hey, yeah, over here. Yeah, I'll take that large pumpkin spice latte.
Oh,
no,
let me shift into the sun so it gleams.
It is new, so it does have a nice, pretty little shine.
I will not go out if it's rain and I can't show it. It must be clear and sunny outside.
It's like the heart of the ocean. And if I jump into a pool, I'm sinking to the bottom.
Gonna get blinded while you're
I'll
driving.
never let
Never
go,
let go,
Jack.
Jack. Yeah, that's what she said too. Never let go. Then boom.
Did you like what I tagged you this morning in?
What did you tag me this morning?
When my husband said he's going to go
Oh,
play
yeah.
around the video
It's been
games.
84 years. I'm like going for an hour. It's been 84 years.
He only exists in my memories now. That's what I feel like when he goes to play Madden. I
Man,
feel
I
like
won the
he's
World Series.
Yeah, I got to win the World Series.
or he's playing the show and he's like, just one more.
The show does sound fun tonight. No. Speaking of other
We have
sports, though,
things to do.
yes, we do.
You're gonna have fun editing
So-
this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's off the rails already.
I'm a married man. I'm lazy now.
It is part of getting fat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fat. Time to get a riding lawnmower for a whole acre of grass, not even outside.
Only do half
You
of
can
it.
barely turn the fucking thing around.
Time for a beer break.
To half the time. Woo! I guess I got a hoagie, beer.
Time for a sports break.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotta check the scores.
Reapply my nose sunscreen.
Yep. Maybe change my hat.
No,
Polish
you're
my-
definitely wearing the bride to be hat.
Yes, I'd stay with me forever. I love that hat. It's on my car still.
He loves that hat.
It's so
Oh,
obnoxious.
I know he does.
It's so obnoxious. I love it.
So some of the things that we took home from the wedding, those large straw hats that Frankie Carl gave us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like 5 of them. I have sunglasses. I have things that no longer glow in the dark. It was a good time. It was a good time. Frankie Carl did an amazing job.
He did.
I'm not sure our listeners in the
United Kingdom.
the surrounding areas that we are in, but if you are looking for someone who does it all, uplighting, DJ, photo booth, photography, videography, entertainment, they do it all and they were fantastic. The owner got into the photo booth with us and was taking pictures. He got to know us personally. He cared. It was all around and a good time, and they did a fantastic job. I will forever gloat.
Nah, he was full of shit when he was in the room.
He
Fucking-
did good.
Guidos for life.
I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say this. I think he took a shot to with CJ,
Who did a shot with CJ?
the videographer thing, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Sweet. He did a good job too.
I think I remember it, but I could be wrong.
I talked about before in the suite.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think he did, because he was saying no.
No, the photographer was in recovery.
He's not in recovery. He just
He
stopped
just stopped.
drinking.
Well, he said he was still not in recovery, but he said he was sober.
Yeah, I know.
He no longer.
I might
drinks.
just
Yeah.
remember him being offered a shot.
Yeah, he was offered. He didn't take it though.
Yeah, because he said because he was telling me, because I was at the one point I had the bottle of champagne and I had 2 double mimosas, and he said, yeah, he goes, that's the way to go. He goes, I don't do that stuff no more. And I said, good for you.
Yeah.
Takes a person, everybody changes himself for the better. Some people pick up drinking and some people quit.
I slowed down a reasonable amount until today.
I mean, we've been really good. I'd like to call ourselves weekend warriors.
Yeah, but
It's not comment.
weekends, that's Nunzio's time.
Yeah, that's sports time. We still have to play that the last leg
For football.
for
yeah.
football. If you have no plans Sunday, then that's what we should do. At least just break it in and see how it is. Speaking of games,
So yeah, you remember I told you today I had an
Segue.
idea for us to discuss, and I forgot it.
yeah,
Yeah, it came to me when I was taking the number 2. Just a conversational piece. Favorite gym activity back in high school or middle school or elementary, whenever.
crazy kickball.
What the fuck is crazy? What in the Florida is crazy?
You never played crazy kickball?
No, we played normal
We
kickball.
played
Where someone rolled the ball toward you, kicked it, and see if you get on base.
Crazy kickball is like regular kickball.
Was there an alligator?
Oh my god!
Yeah, it chases you around the bases.
If you get a home run, you get like pet alligator. I got a dime bag.
And iguana falls out of a tree for you.
In Florida, you couldn't always do outside activities outside because we have, hurricanes and tornadoes and terrible weather.
We have heard.
Oh yeah, us 3 months inside because it's winter.
So it's kind of like a dodgeball, but it's like those giant rubber balls, the red big rubber balls. But you would play and toss those instead of just a regular sized ball. So it was like an oversized ball. And
so it's kickball.
Yeah.
We did this.
But in Florida, we called it crazy kickball because it was just enormously huge ball that you kicked around and played your normal field. It's like kickball, but
Just a bigger ball.
Yeah, huge. Like
you
huge
want it to
ball.
feel special.
Well, you kick it and you hear a pow, and it either goes way up and touches it, or goes fucking way out of left field.
Yeah, we just played dodgeball. If that was the case.
Yeah, those were our dodgeballs.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, crazy dodgeball.
Violence in Florida was a lot worse than it was up here. So
we have violence.
Dodgeball was not allowed. Tetherball was an extreme sport.
We didn't have tetherball.
Well,
yeah, we did.
We had violence, all right.
But we had tetherball. I broke in a couple pair of glasses playing tetherball, and my spike was crazy.
Yeah, I always saw like tetherball as a scene in movies until I actually saw a pole in real life when I was like 20.
Really?
I never saw tetherball.
It's so much fun.
It seems like a terrible time.
You spike it like a volleyball, and if you do it high
really does.
enough, you wrap it around the top, and the person has no choice, but just sit there and watch it spin.
Why not just play volleyball?
I hate volleyball too.
And what was your little gym activity?
My gym activity? I fucking love kickball, dude.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say, saying he has asthma and going inside to have to participate in team sports.
We used to go outside in the back parking lot. I tried sliding once. I still have the scar on my arm.
That's way to send it.
Yo, I was very dedicated to winning.
I remember this one time, we played baseball or softball, whatever, in gym class. And if you recorded the most outs, you got like some special like bonus thingy, whatever. And I quickly thought in my head, like, wait a minute, first base gets all the outs. Let me go play there. It worked.
Of course it did.
Play the
first
game.
Base.
Yep. Well, and nobody realized, like, nobody like once asked, like, maybe we should take first base instead. Nope.
Yeah, stupid high schoolers.
Bunch of idiots. I enjoyed swimming.
Fuck swimming.
I didn't have a swimming pool in high school. We had alligators, but not swimming pools.
That's right. We have swimming pools, and alligator probably get in there. No, it's like swimming class.
Yeah.
It was probably like, it was like the one athletic event I was better than most people in.
Florida holds swimming classes like the week after a hurricane because the base was just flooded anyway.
I just dig a ditch and go in there.
Yeah, they let the basement flood after a hurricane. There's your swim class. Oh
They
yeah,
just put a tarp
according
down on
to
the roof.
Florida Wife, they don't have basement.
What a weird place to live.
What a fucking wild. Fucking they want to fall out of a tree.
So if my child wants to move to Florida, and I told them, hey, don't. It's terrible there, apparently.
Yeah, the governor's not a good guy.
Hey, they're letting roads be built with toxic material, okay? Radioactive material. What could go wrong?
Florida's gonna wipe itself off the map way before California is.
Oh, it's such a terrible place.
If natural selection is true, Florida's toast.
Unless they adapt from all the drugs that are taken in.
Oh, then they become superhuman. Fuck.
Exactly. There's evolution. There's survival of the fittest. There's all kinds of like experiments going on right down there.
This is a coin flip I'm worried about now.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Until then, we can take a venture into Eloise Psychiatric Hospital. Segue.
Oh, yay. But there was okay, so sorry, needed a cigarette.
It's okay. In case anyone's listening, I have sniffles. Don't stop
Oh
listening
yeah,
to us
me
'cause I have
too.
I tried fixing it
I,
with
fi-
chili.
Yeah.
I finally got the sniffles.
Turns out the chili only thing chili did was give me IBS.
You mean irritated it that you already had?
Extra IBS, thank you.
Instant activated.
Everybody did.
IBS Plus, the new strain.
You have chili one time, it's like everyone's an endocrinologist.
I'm surprised I didn't get a lot of shit. Because the last time I made chili, we posted on. I got death threats.
Aren't you the one that posted on Facebook?
I did, but the last time we posted it, I got shit from Billy, Jonah, CJ, and Yesenia about not sharing
Well, you
it.
got shit
Yeah,
from
that's
me
why I
and
didn't.
Cole.
Yeah, and Yesenia.
That's why I didn't post it. So you wouldn't get death
And
threats.
he's protecting his wife.
Yeah, I was doing a good job. Yeah, you got a marriage proposal from Rory.
Yeah, I did get proposed to again.
Billy and Nicole gave you shit. Yesenia asked for leftovers, and Nikki says she's on her way.
I guess she
I
got
said I'm
lost. She
practically
never
married to
came.
you, so I feel.
Yeah,
I
you were
feel
super
this-
emotional. Trying to figure out who was the
Me,
most besides me and Anthony.
me super emotional. Yeah, that's out.
I don't know. Nikki was pretty emotional the whole entire day.
Yeah.
So was Katie.
Yeah, we became
Katie was
bros.
very emotional. She has a reason to be extra emotional though. But yeah, you and Nikki definitely took the cake for that. And Nikki
She's
was like, "Don't look at me."
like I felt bad. I was crying, and then I looked over at you and was like, "All right, this is fine."
Yeah,
Great time.
I looked over and my brother was bawling, and then I looked over and you were just it was like a trail of tears.
Shout out to the natives.
And I was just like, I would look back behind me when I got my vows, and they're all just like smiling and having a good time. My bridesmaids were good. The groomsmen were like going through mental breakdowns.
Oh, Liz was crying.
Oh, I know. But in comparison to the groomsmen, you guys took the cake.
Oh no, fucking Joey was a smart one. He brought like napkins and shit to dab his face. I'm sitting there just balls out.
He came prepared.
Yeah, Joe. I was not expecting my brother to ball out like that because he didn't do that to Nicole at Nicole's wedding. It just there's a picture that someone captured, and it was when Joey first saw me before the ceremony when you guys were lining up for your order, and his face was like his eyes were teary, but he was smiling. It was just the most beautiful thing. I can't wait to get all those videos and pictures. It's gonna be a good time.
The pictures are
But
gonna be
before
dope. The pictures don't be dope, but I'll be crying in every one of them.
oh yeah. Speaking of crazy.
Ah,
Segue
yeah, it's
part two.
crazy. Yeah.
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 This is your
Yeah.
cue, Billy. He's like, what is this
I
going
know.
first shit?
I have to prep myself. You segued in too quick.
This is the
So
second
far,
segment.
I know. So far, I've covered asylums, poorhouses, and not asylum sanatoriums over the year. What I thought was the long span of this podcast. Today, I've upped my efficiency and covered all three in one building. Well, one area. At nearly 1,000 acres and 78 buildings, Eloise housed all kinds of deplorables, sporting its way. Holy shit. Sporting its own mental hospital, tuberculosis sanatorium. I didn't zoom it in. That's my problem. All right, let's try that sentence again. Today, I'm up at nearly 1,000 acres and 17. Yeah, I said, yeah. Let me fucking, God damn it.
But who rewinded him?
Who broke you?
I wasn't zoomed, and then I got all freaked out.
Take 4.
This is why VHS went out of style.
I'm from the 90s, bitch. At nearly 1,000 acres and 78 buildings, Eloise housed all kinds of deplorables, sporting its own mental hospital, tuberculosis sanatorium, and a poor farm on site. Starting all the way back in 1832, spanning to the shockingly close year of 1982, Eloise has had over 7,000 deaths, and most of those remain in a hidden cemetery on the grounds. Let's see if we can cover even half of what's in my notes, which I definitely did not do.
Well, good job. At least you went through that first paragraph on one take.
I know. Efficient.
Efficiency.
It's his middle name.
Prior to being known as Eloise, the facility began operations as the Wayne County Poorhouse in 1832, just 2 miles away from Detroit. By 1834, the building was already in disrepair because of the unsavory characters at a poor farm, I suppose. Another property was purchased in Nankin Township and only sent 35 people from the old farm to the new one in 1889. 111 inmates, patients, I don't know what to call them, so I'm going to go back and forth this entire time. 111 refused to go into the awful wilderness as all they've really known in their life was the poor farm. The inmates and or patients that did get sent up to the new place were quickly put to work building the keeper's quarters under the rear of an already standing stagecoach stop, where all 35 of them actually arrived. It kind of feels like slave labor, but
Yeah, I
legal.
was about to ask here. It's like, you guys are poor and refuse to go somewhere. Well, we're just kind of going to make you into inmates.
Well, no, there was 143 in total, and only
Yeah.
35 of them actually went up to the new place, and the others just kind of got thrown out, basically.
Huh. Very nice.
If I'm understanding correctly, anyway.
So glad our judicial system works the way it does.
It's the 1830s. It was a different time.
Yeah, not much different from now.
Yeah, fun fact about this place, it wasn't segregated up until the 1950s.
Spoils.
A schoolhouse serving an entire district was located on the grounds, along with the stagecoach stop for the patients, the inmates that had arrived there for their new place. Many of the people in the poorhouse also had kids, so at least they could get an education in the probably not great environment of the poorhouse.
So they put kids in here too.
Oh yeah, they had whole families and shit, and they took in orphans and stuff like that.
Huh, that's I want to say that's progressive, but given the time period, I feel like there was some abuses.
Yeah, and this is like Civil War-ish era too, so
Hey, the war didn't
lots
happen
of
yet.
kids without parents. The county house had grown immensely over the next couple of years, and by 1867, most of the residents on the grounds were there because of insanity. Orphans had also lived on the ground, but were adopted out to what I'm sure were loving homes at the time. So they got rid of all the kids. The first actual asylum building was built and in 1868 started housing the residents. I say housing with a lot of air quotes because a feature of this building was the basement, which was adorned with cells for the drunkards and chains for the insane. Most of these patients were basically tossed in the basement, more or less to be forgotten.
And they complain about Anne Frank. Yeah, that's why she went upstairs, not downstairs.
Go to the attic. From the years of 1839, when the new farm had opened, all the way up until 1881, the quarters keepers weren't required to have any kind of medical degree. Most of them, up until this point, had basically just been farmers who were looking for some political clout in Detroit. Once the new requirements were in place that they needed a doctorate, one of the first keepers with an actual degree, Dr. Bennett, took over. Dr. Bennett would go on to remove the use of the basement cells and chains and actually was very interested in helping and potentially curing patients. Because of Dr. Bennett, trying to actually help actual patients instead of just kind of throwing them to the wayside. It kind of caught on in other institutions like this. So,
We
good guy.
are doctors. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, Farmer fucking Jim's probably not going to give a shit what happens to the person screaming. In 1887, a new administration building was constructed next to the asylum. The building was basically a mashup of just about everything. There were offices for the administration, obviously. It also housed the ground's own fire department, some more storerooms, a chapel, a few insane wards for men, and a post office. Real wonder ball of a building, but this is basically how we got the name Eloise.
So, did the crazy people also man the fire department? Because that would just be spectacular.
I think the members of the people on the poor farm that were they were still kind of a poor farm. I think the ones that were able were actually part of the fire department.
I'm just gonna go back to my idea that there's the crazy people working the fire trucks. They ran fire trucks back then.
Yeah, the insane
Whatever they
ones.
had.
Because there is a picture I saw that there was like an old timey fire truck.
Led
But
by
this
a
place was open till
pyromaniac.
82, so God only knows. Probably. In 1894, the postmaster was approved to open the post office on the grounds of the county house in the administration building. He used the name of his 4-year-old daughter and named the post office Eloise. It was difficult to find a name that wasn't already in use that they were able to, so they kind of made a thing where, like, if you come up with a name that's not in use for a post office, you can have it. The railroad station on the grounds also adopted the name, and eventually the whole area was known as Eloise. It even had its own zip code and ran like a little city. The real Eloise lived up until 1982, to the ripe age of 93.
What a legacy.
Yeah, like she got to see the whole fucking thing. That's crazy.
What a life.
The old brick buildings on the poorhouse side of the site were torn down in 1894 to build what would become Eloise Infirmary, which still operates the poorhouse while also taking care of medical needs of the poorer individuals in the community. The residents or inmates of the poorhouse would work on the farm nearby, which could produce over 65 tons of food at one point. They would also tend to animals on the farm, including cows and pigs, working only 4 to 6 hours a day, those lucky bastards, and fuck you for Velisca bacon. I saw it like
Oh,
out of my
wait.
periphery as I'm reading 65 tons. I saw Velisca bacon and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, wait. There's more.
Oh, good. In 1896, a prototype of the first X-ray machine was shipped to the infirmary, making Eloise one of, if not the very first to use actual X-ray technology. Uh, Again, it's the late 1800s. I can only assume an X-ray was mostly used to tell a patient if their arm is going to need to be cut off or not.
You know, I actually have a book on this. I should have, if I would have read this before, I could have given more information on this.
Yeah, we need to communicate more.
Yeah, we should probably plan more than an hour in advance.
Yeah, but that's not the full send method, is it?
That is not. You are correct. Well, back those days, X-rays were like X-rays now. They're just science. So deal with it.
Yeah, but I could assume the procedure following the X-ray to determine it's broken just means like, oh yeah, we need to amputate.
I think there are some basic things there. Wait, are X-rays used to tell you? No, they're just for bones.
Yeah, it's not like an MRI or anything like that.
Well, your finger looks like it might be disconnected. Time to take the rest of the arm with it.
Hey, you
You
never
might
know.
die. You might die of gangrene in the process, but hey, that's the time we live in.
It could be a shitty doctor. I don't know.
Who needs antibiotics?
Shout out to Joseph Lister, who could take a leg off in 12 seconds. Thank you, Dollop.
Godspeed.
In 1903, with the rise of tuberculosis, tents were set up outside of the infirmary as open air treatment and a sanatorium for the patients that were trying to survive TB. Most of the people who were sent to the infirmary with tuberculosis were usually poor, as was what the infirmary was for. and they were in late stages of the disease. Most, if not all of them that were sent were likely to die during their stay at Eloise. The grounds now had three medical divisions with the infirmary, the asylum, and now the sanatorium or not asylum. See, it's not a goddamn asylum.
See, that's why I was waiting for you to yell at me before.
Well, yeah, but it's everything rolled into one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a hospital, it's an actual asylum, and it's a non-asylum sanatorium.
But how can it be an asylum if it's not an asylum?
But the sanatorium is an asylum. They also have an asylum. This is basically like a tiny city.
Oh, so it's like Staten Island.
Kind of, but smaller. But the main building of Eloise is well, there's only like five buildings standing now. But that's super haunted at the moment.
So it's like
And
Centralia.
kind of. Most of
Centralia.
like the auxiliary buildings and shit are gone, but Centralia is just gone.
Hey, there's still some people that live there.
Do they still actually live there? Like last I saw, it was down to like five.
Yeah, they still live there.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Imagine how many carbon monoxide detectors they have in their house.
I believe their house is a carbon monoxide detector.
I would believe that. By the 20s, the population of nearby Wayne and Dearborn quickly quadrupled, and a lot of them were down on their luck or a little bit on the touch side. Much like the other asylums I've covered, I use the word insane lightly. There were a lot of different reasons you could be admitted to the asylum. Men would drop their wives off for simply disagreeing with them, or for just being Shark Week. You know, that
Honey,
lovely
I
week.
think we should color the walls red. To the asylum with you.
Kodak, next time Rose told you to not buy Pokemon cards, now you know what to do. Congrats again on your wedding.
So this is by Detroit.
Yeah, you're like, they dudes would just be like, "Oh, my wife's disagreeing with me too much. Time to take a trip to the asylum."
Do you understand that I buy most of your Pokemon cards? So this
So
does
you
not,
can't get mad at me when they get collected up.
so this tactic here won't work.
I just wanted
It
a
will.
funny dig at you.
It's a win-win for me. Because if you buy them, I win. And if I buy them and you complain, I'll just take you to an asylum.
Oh, is that the case?
That is the blueprints are there.
Uh-huh. Now you can legally do that.
So apparently, according to the standards of the 1920s, yeah.
It's either that way somewhere.
Damn it.
Women have power.
Shit.
Also,
Whereas
wasn't that prohibition?
it's all on prohibition.
Anywho, with your shark bait hoo ha ha.
With the increase of the inmates and patients on the grounds, several more housing buildings for the mental patients were constructed between 1921 and 1929. Obviously, the grounds were very overcrowded, even though it was almost 1,000 acres. At its peak, Eloise served over 10,000 patients of any kind of variety with the staff of only 2,078 total buildings.
Damn.
It's a lot.
Also in the 1920s, advancements in medicine were beginning to come to Eloise as new treatments were discovered.
Like
The
x-rays.
asylum sure, we'll go with that. The asylum began using electroshock therapy, hydrotherapy, insulin therapy, which is literally putting someone into a diabetic coma for a couple minutes, and a good friend, the lobotomy.
Awesome.
Rumor has it Eloise was the first hospital to actually perform lobotomies in the underground tunnels running underneath the buildings.
Progressive.
When they started cleaning out the tunnels, they actually found like jars of brain matter and stuff. So like they were doing like the other type of lobotomy where it was like the jab and pull as opposed to just ice pick to the frontal lobe.
Interesting.
Following the stock market crash of 1929, by 1930, the infirmary housed 7,441 people living in the poorhouse and an extra 2,600 in the mental ward. Obviously, the inmates were not being treated all that good at this time. How many people do you really need to take care of that many people because they didn't have it? Somewhere around this time, beatings were happening, and the chains made their way to back to deal with the unruly patients. Rumors of abuse were circulating around the community. An investigation began after a patient had died within 24 hours of being admitted. The hospital claimed it was a stomach issue, but the corpse had several bruises on it. Along with the abuse, several suicides took place on the grounds. One woman had actually drowned herself in the lake outside of the asylum, while another threw herself out the window, falling to her death.
She said deuces.
A lot of the suicides were actually women who probably didn't deserve to be there.
Makes sense, given some of the reasons at the time, got mad when Pokemon cards were purchased and,
Oh, she said,
honey, you overcooked the roast. Back to the asylum.
literally, like melancholy was a reason for a wife to be dropped off at the
Jesus.
asylum.
Listen, I know your sister just passed away.
Fuck.
And now only leaves 3 other siblings because of the time we live in. But if you don't clean this goddamn house, you're going to the asylum for a month.
I would beat the shit out of you.
Wow. You're showing some anger there. You might have to go to an asylum.
All right, yeah, violence. That's the reason to go to the asylum.
Better calm your ass down. Love you.
Yeah, when I'm in the asylum taking medication and having a nice vacation away from you and the kids, you could clean the house.
Yeah, we'll go to Disney.
Yeah, I've been
You-
so tempted.
Maybe.
Ramen noodles, here we come.
You
Ramen noodles and
crack
cheese
all
balls.
the bills.
Yeah.
Eviction notice, here we come.
Did you ever eat that rice, by the way?
Nope.
Wait, the
Ah.
random pack of rice that was in my car?
Yeah.
I was wondering who the fuck put it there.
Yep. That was CJ.
CJ gave it to him so he didn't eat anything spicy and upset his belly.
Which I did not eat spicy. I just sniffed spicy stuff.
That would have destroyed your stomach because it's something foreign.
Rice?
Yeah,
I love rice.
it was
Yeah,
rice in a
Uncle Ben.
bag.
It's like,
Hey?
It was pre-cooked with weird seasonings.
Yeah?
hey, rice is from Louisiana too. They
Yeah.
do rice. It's Uncle Ben's, goddammit.
Yeah, please tell me about your PTSD from Louisiana and tell me how it's going to be on your stomach.
Rice.
That rice is nasty. That rice has some weird shit in it. But okay, you go eat it and tell me how your
I
stomach
love
feels.
that rice.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's is great.
Yeah, red beans and rice, fucking dope. In 1931, after building a new building, I caught it, you son of a bitch. A new building for the asylum. After building a new building for the asylum, the previous building was renovated to put in surgical rooms, operating theaters, which is a fucked thought altogether. Like, oh yeah, let's gather the family. We're going down to watch a heart transplant. But by now, the building would serve as a fully functional hospital for the public of the surrounding areas. The new hospital would be used as a teaching hospital for the students of Michigan State and drug testing because, sure, why not?
Well, use your resources.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got a bunch of crazy people in Detroit. In the 1940s, the state had stopped admitting psychiatric patients to their actual state hospitals, which led to severe overcrowding at Eloise, a common, complaint. The state had made a deal with the hospital that if a patient stayed 1 year in their hospital, they would be relocated to a state hospital, but more or less that usually didn't happen anyway. Overcrowding ran rampant in the hospital all the way up to the 1960s, documenting being over 50% overcrowded. Eloise was being paid in full by the state to house the patients, which left the county eat the cost of the housing. The mental population had skyrocketed to over 4,000, even though the capacity was only set for 2,500.
An overpopulated mental asylum. Who would have thought that would happen in America?
Can you believe it?
Well, listen, this is the 60s. We're too busy fighting communism, all right?
It's a paragraph I didn't put in here, but I wanted to. The farm itself had ended up closing in 55 after WW2. They were basically siphoning money.
Damn. One of the last great victories of the Nazi Party. Taking out that poor farm.
Sons of bitches. In 1977, the state cut all funding to the hospital, and by 1979, the patients had been moved out and the doors closed on the Wayne County House. A new building that was built in 74 was also sold to the state to be used as a new mental hospital. So all the old patients went there. By 82, the asylum was shut down, and the hospital followed in 1986. Yeah, it's like 143 years, I think. It's hard to get real years on when the super severe abuse actually took place in Eloise, but I'm sure none of the time there was good. Eloise is said to be the most haunted in Michigan, and with very good reason. Along with the general mistreatment, the ground saw its fair share of death from suicides, drownings, botched lobotomies, other horrific treatments, and likely some things we don't even want to know about. There is a hidden cemetery on the grounds that's been covered over as a field. There's over 7,000 unclaimed bodies laid to rest here, and they only have a headstone with a number on it. A group based out of Michigan is actually they discovered records for the cemetery and are working to put names to the actual numbered headstones, which is pretty cool.
Good for them.
One of the more notable deaths I have is that of Harmonia Kiyosan. She was a 10-year-old girl who drowned during a hydrotherapy treatment. The doctors put her in a freezing cold tub and went to tend for other patients when, due to the cold, the girl likely fell unconscious and slid into the giant tub. Harmonia is said to still haunt the tub rooms, as some of the original therapy tubs are actually still in the few remaining buildings. The doctors put her in a freezing cold tub and went to tend to other patients when, due to the cold, the girl likely fell unconscious and slid into the giant tub. Harmonia is said to still haunt the tub rooms, as some of the original hydrotherapy tubs are still in the few remaining buildings.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You're
it's
old.
not like again,
So you're telling this.
you have that many patients.
You're telling this, and I'm like, okay, there's your typical patient abuse that you see in American asylums and mental institutions. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, a 10-year-old was fucking frozen. I know it's true.
Yeah, I don't think the orphans were treated that well either, but obviously finding records from back then is a little difficult.
They probably fucking burned all the records.
It was 1867. Who needed records?
Apparently not the 10-year-old.
I think she's actually buried in the cemetery too.
Right.
That is now just a field. The fifth floor, which at one time became maximum security for the criminally insane, is known to be the most haunted part of the building and is especially known for violent attacks, especially against women. The spirit known as the Choker has been known to attack and obviously choke women on the floor.
Choke me, daddy.
You know what? That one's funny. The Choke Me Daddy Ghost is not super creative for the name, but A for effort.
You're welcome.
A nurse is also said to be seen on this floor behind the door to the nurse's station. Again, all the doors were like lock and key, so understanding the suffering that went on at Eloise is next to impossible, so it's no surprise it's said to be haunted. Throughout the remaining buildings, moans, crying, and even growls can be heard from probably the creepy boy.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the day and night, loud bangs can also be heard that are very reminiscent of the big doors that were used to lock the patients into the building. Slamming doors leads to very obvious poltergeist activity, and more than one local supernatural group has been run out of the building. They claimed that things were being picked up and thrown at them. It's also been documented that electronics drain batteries immediately, even if they had just been charged prior to being used. Group Destination Fear, for anyone keeping tabs, had their walkie-talkies that would like just hit feedback randomly, and they were all at different times.
They're evolving with technology.
Of the few buildings that remain, very few are open to the public, citing dangerous environments, as most of them are basically falling down at this point. All that remains are the firehouse, bakery, the original power plant they used to actually power the building, a commissary, and the main asylum, hospital. Keeping up with the building is hard. We're calling it the main building. The only buildings that were actually able to be accessed are the main hospital and what's known as D building, which was used for admissions, and it also housed 400 mental patients.
I'm sure there are some admissions there.
The building also had living quarters for some of the staff, including the Catholic chaplain.
Now, I'm definitely sure there are some admissions there.
Oh boy, are they?
Why, when he was a young warthog.
When he was a young warthog.
I was waiting for it.
I had to catch my breath quick.
Good inhale.
The building still standing stand as a testament to the suffering that went on at Eloise that no doubt led to several of the bodies laying in that field. I'm gonna try to keep track of the group, working to put names to the graves. I believe the numbers deserve the actual respect of being named. Eloise was used for over 140 years, and a very good portion of that was mistreatment, overcrowding, and treatments that were obviously useless, very dangerous, or downright horrific. After I'm done this paragraph, I'll tell you one of the weird things, like the last crazy treatment I had. I want to say this was a real fun one to look up the history of, but it kind of left me feeling a little bummed, which is why I didn't use some of the things in my notes, because, well, it's a ride. Next week, I'm going to steer far away from any kind of hospital to maintain my own mental health. Anyway, they had like this chamber thing that they'd put the patients in,
Was it
and they would stick.
Chamber of Secrets?
It was not. Oh, they would actually put the patients in these like big metal chambers and then stick them with syringes filled with just plain water as a way for hydrotherapy.
Oh.
Yeah, I read and watched a lot of fucked up shit.
That's not good.
Yeah, but that's Eloise. I don't feel good about it.
That means you have a conscience, so good on you. Good on you for having a conscience.
Yeah, I love them.
Well, hopefully you weren't injected with water or frozen.
Yeah, no, I don't recall any ice baths when I was in mental hospital.
That's probably because the lobotomy took those memories away.
Maybe. Oh, you figured it out.
Oh, they're gonna come get me now.
Oh no.
We found the truther.
Oh fuck, it's all recorded too, and we're gonna release this. Oh no, there's the last episode.
No, this is the longest you know without telling me I don't edit things.
You're gonna do what you're gonna do. Sometimes you edit, sometimes you don't.
No matter what, I always edit more than you do. Moving on to the next category of today.
I write stuff.
Yay! We're going to Africa
Hooray!
in this next story. Or topic, whatever you want to call it. The Abatwa, a race of miniature hunters who are held in the legends originally told by the Zulus of Africa, who describe them as small warriors that were a menace upon their society, much like white people will be to them many years to come.
Abatwa.
Thought we started off with a little humor there.
Yeah,
The
well,
Abatwa.
kill a white man.
The Abatwa would eventually be described for the English language in Englishman Henry Callaway's Nursery Tales, Traditions, and Histories of the Zulus, which was published in 1868. Callaway
I wonder
collected
if they
first.
had an Eloise.
Calloway collected first-hand accounts from Zulu storytellers and translated them into English. He published these translations along with the original Zulu language to give us an accurate as a depiction as possible. So who are the
I wonder if
Abatwa?
the orphans
They
had.
were extremely extreme.
I wonder if they had the nursery tales at the asylum.
Maybe it'd be one hell of a story for them.
Maybe the crazy people walked around going, Abatwa.
Well, here's who they were: an extremely small men that would go under the grass and sleep in anthills along with ants. They travel in the cover of mist while residing upcountry in the rocks while having no real village that they call home. They were a nomadic people, much like some Native American tribes before white people, once again.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Well, if you look at history, we're not the good people. But anyway, on their hunts, they would typically kill their prey with poisoned tipped arrows and eat every part of the animal. And I mean every part.
Good for them.
Yeah, they did
Good
not
numbers.
no waste. Once an area had no more animals left, they rode a horse to their next hunting ground. And now, for clarity purposes, it wouldn't be just one Abatwa that would ride on the horse, but the whole tribe would line up from single file from neck to tail and ride the horse, which to me is just an adorable and hilarious image to just imagine. However, the funny would end there because if the Abatwa did not find new prey, they would just eat the horse.
Is this a fucked up rendition of the Smurfs?
Kind of.
Oh, cool.
It's like Ant-Man meets the Smurfs meets Alien. Or maybe Predator. Yeah, let's go with Predator, because he has weapons.
That's a fucking twist I didn't see coming.
Yeah, well,
Fucking Deontay Smith.
there might be some more twists coming up. Who knows? You know what? For once, it does not get worse.
Oh, well, I got you there.
Due to their Due to their poison-tipped arrows and ferocity, the Abatwa instilled fear into the members of the Zulu nation. A single Umotua, which is the proper name for an individual member of the Abatwa, can kill a full-size Zulu. One thing that members of the Zulu had to keep in mind if crossing paths with the Abatwa is that they hated being reminded of their short stature. Napoleon syndrome was a major problem in their tribes. And if they felt they were insulted about any way about their size, they would instantly go in for the kill of a Zulu.
So these fucking guys would hide under grass, and they were upset when someone was like, "Hey, you're tiny."
Yeah, they very much had a complexity problem.
Fucking little people.
I know, right? The short stack problem made the Zulu adopt a special way of greeting the Abatwa in a way that made them feel big and strong, such as, "I saw you from the mountain, and wow, what a big cock." I may have made up that second one.
Yeah, you too.
May have made up that second one. Nevertheless, the Zulus were very cautious about how they greeted anyone from the Abatwa.
I'm so upset. I thought Rose fucking interrupted yours too.
I actually include that one in there. I played the long con this time.
I did it myself.
However, due to their tiny stature, and I hope there is no Abatwa here when I say this because I would rather not take a poison arrow, they were rarely seen and almost undetectable to the human eye. Legend spread of them shooting their poison arrows at the feet of Zulus and animals that would nearly step on them. Basically like a little bullet ant or a horny ant, but it has a weapon. Oh, I meant. Wait, what? Horny.
Aha!
Did you do that? So I swore I put something else on there. Well,
That wasn't me.
Ryan with it, horny hornet. But it has a weapon. A big one as that. Typically, the Zulu would just avoid Abatwa territory at all costs to avoid that possible interaction, both with the Abatwa and, being interloped with a horny hornet.
So again, they're almost undetectable to the human eye, and they're pissed off, and you're like, "Hey, you're short."
Yeah, you get it.
Just fucking step on them. I didn't have shoes.
They also, the Abatwa had a lot of poison.
Well, yeah, if you had shoes, you could fucking get rid of that.
Well,
figure that shit out, Nike.
So how likely are these stories and legends? Well, in the book that I mentioned before, Calloway theorized that they are actually legends told about neighboring tribes. See, in the Zulu language, Abatwa is not only the name of the tribe of tiny people, but was also used to talk about other neighboring tribes. Something to take notice is that the average Zulu was approximately 6 feet in height, while some neighboring tribes were averaging 4 feet in height. So theoretically, these stories could have been told to children to make sure they didn't leave tribal lands. Mufasa, in all of his wisdom, probably should have done something similar to keep Simba out of the elephant graveyard.
Oh, see, he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the Shadowland.
Those were the Shadowlands. In 1915, Marvin W. H. Beach, a correspondent for the journal Man, all caps, wrote a tale about his journeys into East Africa in 1913, which was a little north of Zulu territory, which is in modern-day South Africa. In his editorial, he wrote that after digging low enough, he found pottery that the local Kikuyu tribe did not make. Side note, you might be familiar with a famous member of someone of the Kikuyu descent, as Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine is part Kikuyu.
Oh, good for him.
Yep. Fun fact.
That angry son of a bitch.
He does rage a lot. Back to the story. Elders of the Kikuyu tribe told Beach that the pottery was made by an ancient people called the Goomba, which were not mushroom people. Oh my god, I was just going to do that off the fly, and I wrote it in here as well. Huh, good for me.
Goomba. Goomba.
They were not tiny mushroom people with 2 feet that pledged allegiance to a giant turtle. Instead, they occupied the area after displacing a race of cannibal dwarves that they referred to as the Mathokoichina. Upon inquiring further, the elders replied with this exact quote found in his book. The Mathochaena appear to be a variety of earth gnomes with many of the usual attributes. They are rich, very fierce, very touchy, etc. If you meet one and ask him who his father is, he will spear you. Or if he asks you where you caught sight of him first, unless you say that you had seen him from afar, he will kill you. The inference being, I suppose, that you have seen what he was doing, burying treasures, etc. This is only a guess on my part. Like earth gnomes in most folklore, they are skilled in the art of ironworking. They originally lived around this part, south of Mount Kenya, but they were driven out by another legendary people called the Goomba, who dwelt in caves dug in the earth and who disappeared one night after teaching the Kikuyu the art of smelting. Another account says that they lived in the earth themselves. It is Kikuyu insult to say, "You are the son of a Mathuchena."
Yo, I figured it out. Mario's one of these dudes, and now he's taking his revenge on the Goomba.
I could believe it.
That's why he starts out so small.
Should have more mushrooms. Beach
Fucking figured you out, Nintendo.
Beach believed that these references could have been about Bushmen or Pygmies due to similarities in the stories from the Zulus, and that Bushmen and Pygmies resided between these two tribes. So naturally, white people took these stories as just pure facts that the Abatwa were actually Bushmen and pushed that notion for at least 80 years. Because why would they give a damn about the actual source of these stories from Africa?
You don't believe them. Their
One,
skin's a different color.
we don't need to bother with them. We'll just scramble Africa in a few years anyway.
God, if anyone hates us, they could really take fucking bits of this podcast.
One noticeable rewrite was in the 1987 book Encyclopedia of Things That Never Were by Michael Page and Robert Ingpen. They summarized the Abatwa as the smallest humans who live in the anthills of southern Africa, who only revealed themselves to children under 4, wizards, and pregnant women. And without any reference to anyone from Africa where these stories originated, they decided to include, and this is just random to me, that if a pregnant woman who was in her 7th month of pregnancy sees an Abatwa, she is destined to have a boy. Again, they kind of just threw this information in there.
Whoever thought this up probably needed to go to an asylum.
If only there were some places like that. They also decided to change that they were, in fact, a peaceful people who shared their food with the grants and only foraged for food, instead of the warrior-like stories told by the Zulus. White people also began to theorize that the Abatwa were simply fairies and not people at all.
Well, we did the same. Never mind.
However, if you travel to Africa, you might still want to watch where you step. You don't want to take an arrow to the knee. Skyrim fans might catch on to that one.
Oh.
Boo me all you want.
Oh.
Oh. You have to boo that hard. My pride.
Keep on going.
But that will wrap up my story on the Abatwa. Feel free to share your thoughts on what these small people might be.
Mario.
They might have some disorders.
Here we go.
Oh, Devonta Smith.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Thank God.
Again, football will not be a distraction.
Quick, Billy, before we get to the next topic, remind me, did I bet on him?
I don't remember.
Damn it. Okay.
I don't remember my bet, bro.
Babe, you're up.
Okay.
Come on, the newly minted Kodak.
This week's topic.
Yes, you need 60 yards. Sorry.
It's okay. This week's topic, I decided to go with a narcissistic personality disorder. I have covered a many array of different mental disorders on this podcast, and I wanted to do a special episode on this.
You did talk about some horoscopes.
Yeah, I did also talk about some mental disorders as well.
That was a joke on mental disorders.
You're a mental.
Thing.
I am more than a mental disorder. I'm a few.
Oh boy.
Doubt.
Mm-hmm. Narcissistic personality disorder, also known as ND or MPD, is a mental health condition that affects how you view yourself and relate to others. Having this means that you have an excessive need to impress others or feel important. That you need to be strong enough to drive harmful behavior, negative affecting those around you. NPD gets its name from Narcissus, which am I saying it right?
Narcissus? That's a Greek.
Narcissus.
I thought it's a Greek
Yeah.
guy. Narciss. I think it's Narcissus.
Narcissus
Yeah, I think that's that one. Narcissus.
Narcissistic.
is okay.
Sissy.
Yeah, Sissy. Narcissus. A hunter from the Greek mythology. According to the myth, he was so obsessed with his own beauty that he could not stop looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. He did nothing else but stare at his reflection until he died. That.
He's the original I'm too sexy for my car guy.
Oh yeah,
Too sexy for
he was
my
obsessed with himself.
too sexy for my shorts. My shorts.
People who commonly connect with the term narcissist to physical appearance, just like the myth, it isn't about how you look. It also involved other traits of and abilities to have, such as intelligence, charisma, artistic skill, athletic ability, wealth, power, success, and more. More people who are just more consumed in themselves. There's so many different things, so many different ways to, put this in so many different categories. How common is this disorder? About 5% of people in the US may have it. Between 50 to 75% cases, it affects men more than women. People hide narcissistic beliefs or behaviors. This is called covert narcissism. I've heard this before. A lot of people, it's denial or hiding the fact that you have it.
It's like they're undercover.
Yeah. Okay. Because of it, it's hard to estimate how many people actually truly have this disorder because people do such a fantastic job hiding it. A lot of the times it can be as just people having a shitty personality.
And half the time they don't realize they have it.
Yep. Some of the symptoms that people who are suffering from this disorder can be, I'm going to go through a few of these. The criteria of maybe looking or may have the following of a sense of self-importance. It is the capability of holding themselves to unreasonably high standards, bragging or exaggerating about their own achievements. Number 2 is feeling deserving. They are entitled. They have blind devotion to oneself. They have the need of power or feeling successful. They need to feel loved at all times, and they need self-fulfillment. Number 3 is belief in to be superior. They think that they're special, they're unique, and they believe that they should associate only with those who see themselves as worthy. Like, if you don't see my importance, then you're not worth the attention I'm giving you. Number 4, the need for admiration. They have a fragile self-esteem, frequently self-doubting, self-criticism, and they usually feel alone or emptiness. They need something to fill the void. They're preoccupied with knowing of what others think or they are thinking of them. And they're always fishing for compliments. Number 5 is entitlement. An inflated sense of self-worth, expecting unreasonable treatment, and they have anger when people don't cater or appease them.
It's my money and I want it now. Call JG.
JG Wentworth. I'd give the number, but they're not paying us.
877 cash now?
There we go.
Okay.
God damn it.
Sorry, the 3.
They're paying us now.
Number 6, willingness to exploit others. Consciously or unconsciously using others. Formatting friendships or relationships with
fomenting?
Forming.
You said fomenting.
Fermenting.
Fermenting?
I'm a ferment.
We're making boom?
I'm going to ferment this here. Developing friendships or relationships with people to make themselves feel superior. It's like having friends that they're less than what you're worth, yet you want to constantly feel like you're the most important person in the room.
Right.
Yeah. And deliberately taking advantage of other people's for your own selfish reasons. Number 7.
Right.
Lack of empathy. Saying things that might hurt others, seeing the feelings and needs or desires of others as a sign of weakness, and not returning kindness or interest that others show. Number 8 is frequent envy. Feeling envious of others, especially when others are happy. Expecting envy from others and belittling or diminishing the achievements of others. And number 9 of this is arrogance. Patronizing behavior. Behaving in a way that's distasteful or disrespectful. Talking down or acting in a condescending way. Hypersensitivity to criticism, rejection, or failure, and reacting with anger when they feel like they're being criticized or rejected. What are the causes of narcissistic personality disorder?
A shit show in week 1.
Most is genetics.
Hey, that's too good.
Genetics is the number 1 cause or reason behind this. People who suffer with this are more likely to have it because their parents or close relatives have it. Another reason is observation and imitation. Children can often observe and imitate and learn traits of this behavior because their parents have it, and it's more like monkey see, monkey do.
I went opposite.
Yeah, so did I. Negative childhood experience. There might be a link between negative childhood experiences like trauma, rejection, or neglect that can cause people to act like this. It could be or it can't be. It just I guess depends on the person. You make your.
It could either turn you into this or an empath.
I am a strong believer into you choose your own path.
Correct.
Oh,
I saw the shit and I didn't want to be like that.
yep. What are the complications of narcissistic personality disorder? Mood disorders or bipolar disorder, other personality disorders such as borderline personality and antisocial personality disorder. People who have this normally deal with substance abuse. People with this turn to alcohol or some kind of other drug to help them when reality doesn't meet their expectations. Cocaine was one of the big factors in this when I was doing my research.
Nose beers.
Yes.
No one wants to do cocaine for a bachelor party anymore.
Yeah. Drinking is bad enough.
You guys didn't get the cocaine that night? Who was that clown then?
With cocaine?
Womp, womp, womp. There's a shit on the porch.
Oh.
God damn it.
All right.
I was the first to see that shit.
What do I do if I think a loved one has narcissistic personality disorder?
Strap in.
People with NPD may be unable to see it in themselves. A lot of people don't know or can't accept the fact that they have this. So if you suspect someone you care about has this, you should keep these following things in mind. You can't change somebody. You can't change somebody with this disorder. Only the person can change themselves, their behavior, and how they feel. While you may feel frustrated by this person and their unwillingness to change, remember their actions is not your fault.
And people can change.
Stay calm and don't take things personally. People with this disorder may try to antagonize or react, especially when they're lashing out. Don't take it personally and don't respond. Set healthy boundaries. People with this disorder try often to get what they want by going after others, but if you have a loved one with this, settling healthy boundaries may be necessary. Protect yourself. People with this disorder often resort to gaslighting to undermine you and your boundaries, and they may lash out of anger, making you feel little. Last but not least, be sure to protect your own mental health and your own well-being dealing with somebody in this state. Take care of your own mental health because your insides count just as much as theirs. Always make sure to take care of your number one, and that's you. Doing so can help you be better, work through your own emotions and the difficulties surrounding this person with this disorder, and prepare yourself on how to deal with the effects of this condition.
I care more about your insides.
Shush your mouth. Well, Rejects, I am glad to share some of this light on this matter that is much needed. Mental health is no laughing joke. I'm hoping everybody out there who suffers with this disorder gets the help they so desperately need.
We make a shit.
I make a laughing joke of my
Huh?
I make a joke of my mental health all day.
I say we make a lot of jokes on mental health.
Yeah. It's sometimes it needs to be put out in the open for people to truly understand.
I said I'm gonna kill myself like at least 11 times today.
And
Yeah, but
you
see,
didn't.
You're not a woman, so we don't need to send you to an asylum.
It's fair.
You're mad. You get told to push it right back down where it came from and move on.
Get the whiskey. Hell, still turning it out.
Well, it looks like that will wrap it up for here at the Full Send Rejects, unless anyone here has some more things to add.
Oh, I think we're good.
Yep.
There we go. It is time for us to go take more shots and smoke our bowls, whatever we people do, as we continue to
Bunch of savages.
as we continue to live our bestest lives, even though we just made some jokes there. Next week, we'll feature more cryptids with the Abaguchi, a legendary tale of a sea witch. Damn dyslexia. And Hunter S. Thompson, who spent a year undercover with the Hells Angels just so he can write some literature. Don't forget to.
Hey, you looked them up.
I kind of had to.
There.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on our socials at Full Send Rejects. And until next week, keep on sending it.
Full fucking send it.
I'm not actually gonna kill myself. Fucking send it.